What is up, everybody? This is your boy Batman333, Daniel Scott, and we got a new video today. I've been away for a bit, but we're back, and we're trying out today the new MultiVersus testing grounds, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they've added and why I think this absolutely needs to. I think everybody should take a look at this because I think this is pretty cool. Um, So basically, what they've done is it was maybe a week ago. I forget how long ago it was. It's been a little bit, but the team at Multiverses, the community management team, put out a into the verse stream, and they were talking about a few new things in addition to the mid season additions with Nubia and just some of the things that they're going to be doing, some of the events and all that. I didn't get a chance to cover that just due to being busy and everything. But one of the things that caught my attention from that wasn't necessarily the character and some of the normal stuff that we usually get, um, the usual stuff that we sort of pay attention to. What caught my attention was a new function in the game called testing grounds. So every it's supposed to start on a Thursday and last throughout the weekend. Um, I don't know for how long, but essentially, it's a place for them to add things to the game that allows us to test these new functions and whatnot, and to give feedback as to what we feel needs to be changed or whether or not we like the new functions and and things of that nature. And in this case, they announced that they were gonna introduce shields or blocking in the game, which, as you know, is sort of like a core mechanic in a game like Smash Brothers. Pretty much almost every platform game out there has some form of a block or guard. Um, you know, Nickelodeon All Star. I mean, all these games have a guard, and this game didn't. That's what sort of set it apart. What they've only added in this game was just dodge mechanics, which is, you press your dodge, and you can, move to the side, left to right, or up dodge, that kind of stuff, just for mobility. Uh, and in addition to, the latest sort of iteration of multiverses, they added the parry, which we all know. Um, One of, I think, the biggest gripes a lot of people have with this game is that uh, you're simply not you don't have enough like defensive options uh comparative to certain characters of the cast. If you've got a projectile character and you're on the opposite end of that, like a character like Velma, she can chuck a bunch of projectiles at you. You either have to parry those things or do well-timed dodges, or simply put yourself in a position where you can avoid getting hit by those things. Um but having guard in here now allows people to sort of block projectiles. In addition to that, you have characters that just sort of bum rush you, and you can stagger your combos and sort of like you know give people a run for their money. Or here the biggest, I think, the reason why I think the guard is very interesting to have in this game is for characters like or fighting against characters like Shaggy with the side attack that he does, or Samurai Jack, or whatever. With all that said, I'm going to show just a few videos of matches that I've had, and I'll kind of talk about these things piece by piece, and sort of explain why I think guard is a really good thing for the game. It's certainly making offense and defense much more interesting, primarily with the 1v1s. Now, I'll go ahead and kind of get this match started. This is the match I had against Nubia here. And I haven't really played against her very much, just because I haven't been able to play online. But um, let's take a look at a few things here. So right off the bat, um, to do a guard or a block in this game now, it just basically requires your dodge button. So whether it's the neutral dodge or whether it's the the regular dodge, as long as you hold the button, you have to be stationary. It has to be on a platform or on the ground. But once you hold it, it puts a bubble around you, just like Smash Brothers. And as you're holding that button, it's going to block any incoming attacks. The way that it works is that the guard meter is dependent on how much dodge meter you have. So the moment you run out of dodge, you can technically go into a sort of like a stun state because you've run out of dodge or guard in this case, and it will then give your opponent an opportunity to attack you. Now, right off the bat, there, I'm throwing projectiles. Now, I got him with the first tag, but as you notice, with Velma, when you tag the first projectile, it's going to then allow the other projectiles to track that character and chase him down. But once he got hit with one, he took a little bit of damage. He's able to go into his guard and block some attacks there. All right. Now, why that's important? So that's important simply because of this fact right here. Um, you can decide on what sort of options you want to do at this point. So, I'm going to immediately start the pressure by throwing my projectiles, get him in a state where he has to block. Because I see that on the other end, if you notice how far of a distance I am, I'm going to try to close the distance, and then I'm going to go into my run attack, which is her running grab, her side special. And while it's ambiguous and you can kind of see it coming a mile away, if they're in a guard state, they have to basically, the opponent has to wait for the animation of the guard to end for them to be able to move again. And because I can catch that, I'm able to sort of throw this move out and see if I can sort of catch him off guard, if you will. And sure enough, he goes for another guard, and he's able to get hit with that move. And that's another cool thing. Characters that have command grabs, so like your Jason, Jake, anybody that does some kind of move where they grab you and do something to the character, Superman, they are not going to be able to negate the command grabs with a guard. So it opens up the game more. It opens up that sort of like paper rock scissors. If you're going to guard, I'm going to throw. If I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw a projectile. Like there's just different sort of scenarios that you can kind of set yourself up for as you go through a match. Another thing that's kind of interesting about guard is the fact that when you do guard, I think that it opens up a lot more of the ability of a player's ability to use the parry more often. That was something I kind of wondered if they could implement if they were going to add the guard. I basically took the example that if they treated this sort of like how they're doing it with Street Fighter, uh, you know, parries can maybe like say, like you can have like two types of parries, like sort of like a one where you don't have to be as accurate in terms of pressing it on the timing and everything. It's not as strict. So like in Street Fighter 6, if you hold the parry button or whatever, the parry macro, the two buttons together to do a parry, you can hold it and it'll just block every incoming attack until you let it go. But it doesn't give you like enough stun, block stun recovery so that you can kind of do other things after you've successfully parried things, unless you do like a perfect parry. If you do a perfect parry, you get like an instant sort of like opportunity to react. I thought that maybe that would have been kind of a cool thing to do with this game, have some sort of like perfect parry. But the way it works now is like the moment you do parry in this game, the opponent is stunned for a pretty decent amount of time. But what I've noticed in parrying in this game, with having block, is that you can actually use like say neutral, because it requires you to do a neutral dodge in order for you to do the parry. So because you can switch between using your normal dodge and the neutral dodge as a way to do the guard in this iteration. What's cool about that is that it incites a player to be able to do parries more often, I think. So, you know, now the one downside with the guard in this game is you obviously can't guard when you're in the air or when you're not touching a platform. However, if you have the Airwalker perk, for instance, you could press, and that's the thing. I haven't tried that out, so I don't know how that's going to work. But if you have that perk on, it allows you to do. If you press the dodge button, it pulls out a temporary platform, regardless if you're in the air, or on the ground, or whatever, that you can use to, kind of continue an attack or uh, delay yourself from hitting the ground, or however you want to use it. But what I think is that you could probably call Airwalker out, stay on that platform, and then use the neutral dodge or something or whatever button you press to guard in the air. So you can have like air blocks now. You can always air parry, but that's a potential for air guarding. I think that's kind of cool because the game absolutely doesn't have that. No platformer game that I know of has that. But continuing on here, I'm just sort of keeping the pressure up. And one thing too, having the guard, I think like you can tell the people who will use it as a crutch, because I guess you would feel that you could block everything. Um, but one of the sort of caveats with using the dodge or the guard too much is that so if you successfully block something when you guard, and I have it in one of the other clips, but you can instantaneously like block an attack and then do a dodge. And so in doing that, it's going to eat up more of your meter, but you can position yourself to sort of get yourself out of a situation where like maybe there's too much pressure, you know, um, the opponent is just sort of catching you with like combos that you can't seem to get out of. But that's really going to be more for the grounded sort of game, and I think that's what's kind of cool with this guard mechanic is that you've got more of a neutral game, and it's more in line with like a Street Fighter or any of those kind of games where you have guard. Now I know for the longest time, player first games have been trying to not make this game like Smash Brothers, but at this point, by adding a guard, it's literally like right there at this point. I mean, it's not the same in terms of like the feel or the mechanics, movement mechanics and things like that. But the fact that they have that in there, I think they just sort of like, you know, kind of caved in and just be like, you know what, let's add a guard. And I think that in doing that, it does open up the game a lot more for everybody. We're just gonna kind of let this play out here. I want to see what other types of things that I was able to utilize here. But yeah, see, there you go. So that's a good that's another good reason to have guard. So um, if you're underneath a player, see, you notice I like caught he was on a platform above me. When you would play this game without a guard normally, you would have players that would do that. They would stand on top of a platform and jump or do something, to kind of, or really what a lot of people would do if you were clever enough is if you were the person on the platform, you would actually anticipate an up attack and you would try to use your parry. Well, that's the cool thing now. Like there's no penalty for if you like mistime the parry. Simply just hold the dodge meter, you'll get a guard, and then you can, attack or get yourself out of that situation and reset yourself to another area of the stage. And so I think that's really cool. Let's see here. Now, one thing I have noticed with the guard, though, that like I said, I was kind of alluding to this earlier, and it can kind of mess you up a little bit, is the fact that you can do those dodges after you've guarded. You can sit there and continue to hold it, if you want, but the moment you dodge, you can kind of mess yourself up. And I know that when they talked about this, they explained some of the mechanics. There's something like using down and guard to maybe continue like a traditional guard, so that you don't move or something to that effect. See, there's as the way it stands right now, the testing grounds, you can only do it where you're playing somebody, so you can't do it during training. So there wasn't, I don't have a clip of me just sort of standing there being able to sort of like try the different, to show the different sort of inputs or uh, different ways you can use the guard. But Nakat from the Player First Games community management team, they put out a video. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I would definitely watch that video and pay very close attention on how to use it. Now, that's another thing I have noticed, like I said, when I was talking about parrying in this game, I've noticed that because now I have the ability to guard, I can, you can more or less anticipate players' sort of like attacks now. Like, you can bait more, or if they're continually, you can catch their patterns and you can sort of like quote unquote download your opponent. Because if you notice, like every time you block, they keep going for that attack, or they keep going for some kind of string or whatever it is, or a jumping dodge attack, or aerial dash dancing, wave dash attacks, whatever they're trying to do. And you can anticipate things. And I think that, like I said, I think that having guard now incites you to be able to do parries a lot more. Because I noticed that when I was doing this, I noticed that when he was jumping at me, I'm just kind of doing my normal attacks here. I immediately knew he was coming for me, so, I was ready for that parry. I could have guarded and maybe attacked too, so. And what's really nice is that when you do the guard, when you successfully block attacks, you're able to follow up and get him in some kind of a string or whatever. And see, just like that example right there. I'm over here trying to guard, I miss, and he just waited, got my attack, and he got the head off. And so there's just a lot more ebb and flow now with having this guard in the game. Catching him here in the string. Now, I don't remember if this match specifically had a lot of guarding in here, but I noticed in the beginning this guy was trying to use it a lot, and I sort of kind of, anticipated that and just sort of planned my offense accordingly. Now, another thing that would be amazing is that if you can catch somebody guarding in a combo with a character like Velma, I could, go in for attacks, but then immediately drop the mystery machine. And I don't think you can guard the mystery machine. It may block it once, but the way that the mystery machine works is it'll hit you, and if it's like knocked back, it still comes after you. So.
My glasses!
And so he sort of hit himself into it. So.
I can't let the game.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
By Olympus, that stung.
Now, after a while, I think he was just trying to wait till I would do something, and just try to wait for the guard. And that's definitely not how you want to use it in this game. You certainly want to use it when your meter is a little more full. But look at that exchange there. He's waiting for a jump in. And he successfully blocked a lot of attacks there. So that's the utility of it right there. That right there defensively is the utility, and how you can protect yourself and how you can kind of get out of these attacks, and you can, conserve more life that way. But like I was alluding to, when you hold the dodge meter to block, you've got to be careful about inputting a direction, because the moment you do that, you're going to dodge in that according direction, and that's where it'll mess you up. So the best way to use the dodge is just sort of like how this guy did it, is anticipate the attacks, simply make sure that you're in neutral at all times when you're guarding. If you're just wanting to guard attacks, because you're waiting for them to finish whatever it is they're doing to you, make sure that you hold the guard button and then move after the attacks have been successfully blocked. So that's just my sort of 2 cents on that. More of the same just kind of goes on with this match. Yeah, it can when you hold that guard, it dodges or it blocks all types of attacks. That was a down attack. It'll attack side attack or block side attacks, projectiles, uh, you know, all but things that like grab you pretty much. So, Velma's running grab is gonna always catch you if you're using the guard. Now, I don't know if there's much more sort of like mechanical things that I can show in this video, but I'm just trying to let some of it play out to. Yeah, Nubia's pretty cool. I haven't gotten to play her yet because I haven't purchased her with the fighter tickets. I was gonna wait for the fighter tickets to get her, but I did try her in the training, and she's pretty fun. I just don't know if she's like my style, but with guarding now, I think any character, if you had any kind of, can't believe he got hit with that twice. I hit him into it. I think any character that if you had any kind of complaints about them, especially offensively, guard is definitely going to change your perception on how to play certain characters now. Like I said, I haven't been able to try any of the other characters out just because I just found out about this being launched today, and I just wanted to jump in and see like how it feels. I can tell you that the matches feel a lot more fluid, and I don't know, you just feel more in control of the match if you know how to use the blocking properly. It's gonna add to meter management awareness. You got to make sure you have good meter management. And then another thing, like I said, is that it helps with figuring out when you should be parrying, because you could block on the ground, jump up, and if the person tries to pursue you, you could be ready for that parry. You know what I mean? And parry in the air. So you're going to see a little bit of that kind of stuff in these next set of matches. So that's my sort of 2 cents on that. And I'm just going to go ahead and let these last two matches play out because they were fun matches. I played against a crazy Gizmo and a good Iron Giant, and the matches were amazing. So that's my 2 cents on it. And I hope that if you guys haven't tried it, you need to get on the testing grounds and try it. Now, I do know that they're only doing it for 1v1s, the shields, but they also have an option for testing grounds for 2v2s. I just don't know what they're testing in there. It could be some more modes or, different mechanics, who knows. But it's not live yet, so don't expect to be using shields in ranked. But I think it's going to be definitely going to be a game changer, and I kind of find myself, or I think players will find themselves wanting to play it more to explore using and incorporating the block into their game. So with that said, go ahead and enjoy these matches. And when we get to the end of the video, I'll say any more of my last thoughts and enjoy. If you're just joining the video, we're just going over some of the testing grounds stuff and just showing some matches, showing how to utilize guard and why I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, you noticed on that match, a lot of parrying was happening. And like I said, I don't think I've parried as much in a match than I have with this, because parrying has always been a risk. And now I think like you have a safety net because you could just guard instead of having to risk a parry and getting opened up, you know. Also, in turn, you know, using the guard helps you to sort of recognize the pattern enough to where you can set yourself up for the parry, you know, and get that nice block stun on them. This was the first match of that set. This was a very, very sweaty match. And this was like my second match using guard, because the first match I played against an Iron Giant, so... But yeah, I was able to open up a lot of running grabs. And see, there we go. That right there was an example of what I was talking about when I say it will mess you up if you block something and try to dodge unintentionally. That's the one problem I had with it at first. It felt a little weird using the guard because I wasn't used to just, you know, not pressing a direction and using the dodge. So once I got him in the running grab there, I waited for him to do his attack, and I just wanted to hit him, but instead I did a dodge. And that's what I mean. So if you're going to guard, I find that if you want to just block attacks, use the neutral dodge if you have that mapped to something, because then it won't register the attack if you decide to, or, you know, if you're a stick user, the right stick, because I don't use the tilt stick. I just use the standard D-pad and the buttons. You could do a tilt attack, you know, to go into your combos. So I didn't even think about that. That's probably a better way to do it without interrupting the block. Let's see. If they block, you can do the running grab. I mean, it's like you know that move becomes much more useful now. You know what I mean? You know, right? Like you catch them dodging or blocking, you can open them up by just doing a running grab, and you can do the fastest running grab. You know, because when you're point blank, there's not much you can do if you're guarding. You know, there's recovery frames on the block, so. Or if you get them to waste their meter by blocking too much, you know, that's another opportunity for you to use that kind of move. And that, like I said, it makes certain moves more useful than they have been ever. I can only imagine what other characters would be like, you know. But this guy was really good with Gizmo. I'd never fought like a Gizmo that played like him. He wasn't doing a lot of the same sort of spammy things that some Gizmo users do. Like they'll use the umbrella, like the side special or whatever a lot. He was doing some really good combos with the bow and arrow move. You know, stuff that was just kind of catching me. But you know, once I sort of caught wind of that, you know, I was able to adjust when I was able to block certain things. He was really good at dodging or blocking my down attack there. I mean, this match looks pretty hopeless, right? So it has 0. I haven't even got him around yet, or stocked yet. And I think blocking helps to make for good comebacks. I mean, look, I'm already half energy, half damage up already. And now I got only 1 stock left, right? I think I put this match because I want people to sort of see the power of why blocking and having better defensive options helps players in this game, especially against oppressive characters. Because you could pretty much say that Gizmo is a very oppressive character. Now he still has a pretty big life lead, but here I am catching back up. I'm able to sort of get myself back into the game, but I'm still only relying on this last stock. There we go. I got that great block right there, the great save. Able to kind of catch him back into my stuff. You know, still trying to dodge his stuff. And just sort of, you know, the other incentive to blocking is that, I forgot to mention that, they mentioned in the video that as you block, while it goes down incrementally, you're sort of rewarded for blocking. And then, you know, your meter could fill right back up. So it's worth it to block, guys. I can tell you that right now, because, you know, it preserves it so that you have more meter to do your dodges when you need to do dodges. Nice parry. Oh, yeah. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. So if you block too much, you eventually can kind of get knocked out of it. And that's what it looks like when you overguard. So you don't want to just haphazardly just hold it. You see? And they can. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. There's actually, that's what the down. Okay, so down and guard, I believe, is what you use. Or I'm sorry, it's like, I forget what it is, but there is a tool that you can use to actually do a guard break. And I want to say it's like attack and guard or something like that. But don't quote me on that. But if you hit them at the same time, you can break somebody's guard, and that's what happened there. I totally forgot about that. Oh, this is hilarious. Come here, Gizmo. Baited him with the van. See, I love that about the guard. It's like you can come in and out of things. And look at this. I'm getting myself completely back into this match. Time's running out. You know, he still has the life lead over me, but if we didn't have guard, you know, being at 100% in this game is very dangerous, you know, because they could blow you off the stage, or they could do some parry, you know, into a attack or whatever, spike, up spike, and yeah, it helps so much. The setup, boom. And we get the comeback. All right, and this was the second match, I believe.
Really?
Or this was actually the first match. Oh no, this is the Iron Giant match now. Oh man, this Iron Giant was really annoying to fight against. He was using guard a lot on, I think, one of the matches that we played. Because it was a set to 3, but I only got the matches that I won. But, you see. So, guard for him it makes him hard to attack because he's, he also has a lot of, he can take a lot of damage. So, I think guard definitely will help a character out like Iron Giant. He still hits the same, and you have to be really careful when fighting against him. He still has all those kind of things. I noticed I didn't block as much against him. It's mostly because he's slow, and Velma can kind of hit him a lot, but you gotta keep yourself away from him. I don't know what I was doing there. Oh man. Boom.
Can't let the gang down.
Oh. I mean, I am enjoying the way it works now. So I hope it doesn't change too much. Maybe they'll just change, like, sort of the incremental things of, like, how long it lasts or how much meter is being used when you use it. But so far, I don't have any complaints. I don't find it, like, I don't find that it makes anything advantageous or disadvantageous for characters. Granted, I only played against, the characters that you see here in the video, but for the most part, I mean, I'm still playing my normal Velma game, just with a little bit of blocking in it.
I'm a detective, not a gladiator.
Man, he can take so much damage. So annoying sometimes. Look at this. He's just, like, not dead yet at all. I still think her up special is slow as molasses. The camera flash. Got him there. He's really hard to guard against because all those attacks are multi-hitting, and you gotta pretty much just, like, sit there just waiting to attack. Now that's what I love the guard for right there, is that move, the down attack he does, where the rocket boosters or whatever. I always would try to up attack that without, before this testing grounds thing, and now you can just guard it. Look at that. And then you can, like, guard and then dodge, But there's so many different, like, options you have now. Oh, I could have done a running grab. Nice guard. Oh, I thought I was gonna get him at the end.
There's only 1 minute left.
I mean, look how close these matches are. Oh man. At least 2 of these matches almost went through the whole time, Good guard. Yeah, I think this is a lot more These matches are a lot more exciting now, you know? This is more of the same. This is just the same guy. I mean, some good blocking things on this one. Oh, nice parry. Look at that. I probably could have still blocked some more if I had just kept holding the guard. Jeez. At first when you try it, it's going to feel a little slow, you know? But as you kind of get used to like how it works, I didn't find the input too cumbersome or anything like that. See, look at that. That was a nice exchange, you see? I went to a string. I gambled thinking I could... So that's another cool thing, is like, if a person chooses to block, in that instance, you can, as the offensive player, you could stagger your attacks so that you could kind of get them to keep holding guard. I could have interrupted that by stopping and then going into, say, her running grab, because then they're just holding guard and, they're not going to be able to react after a while. But I just went through the string and he was able to punish me for it. So that's a proper whip punish for this game. That's sort of the problem with this game, is a lot of times you don't have a proper whip punish window to do anything, especially like, if you had the ability to block certain moves from characters. Because normally what I would normally go through with that move is I would go into 1-2 on her jab attacks and then just do a down attack. And sometimes it would catch people off guard, but other times they would just dodge. But it looks like, because he was able to block those all successfully, he had more of a window of opportunity to do a whip punish. So, yeah, I think these are some good matches to kind of show off how the blocking works and how, well it's going to implement into the game once they make this live. They definitely should keep it. Or, I mean, I don't think they should make it a perk. I hope that's what they don't do. I hope they don't make it a perk, because, I think it should just be universal. I think everybody should be able to guard without having to, a nice parry. Go through buying a perk or whatever. But here, another match where I'm down 2 stocks to 0. Let's see if I can make this comeback. Not looking too good. I don't know. I mean, everything that you've seen here today, guys, make sure you sound off in the comments. I want to know your thoughts, especially if you've tried this out for yourselves. We definitely need to have discussions on it and see, I currently don't find very many cons with it, to be honest, other than like you can inadvertently do a dodge. I find that the way it's working right now, it's not too cumbersome on your dodge meter. I don't find it like, a waste. I don't know if you have no more dodge, if you're no longer able to guard, maybe that's one downside. Oh. And this is going to be a ridiculous comeback, by the way, guys. Did a tech hit there. Never in my life would I ever have been able to play a match against a character like Iron Giant, have 160 damage, and still find a way to win. And he's guarding all my stuff. Wow. So that's one of those opportunities where if he thought I was going to do an attack, I could have just done running grab. And we secure the win. So there it is, folks. Guarding is a reality. It's here. It's no longer hearsay. It's no longer speculation. It is here in the game, and I think everybody should try the testing grounds and test it out for yourselves. I think it's a game changer, like I said, and it's going to make matches a lot more exciting. Your offense and your defense will be a lot more methodical, I think. You can incorporate parries a lot more. And overall, it's just you'll have it has a comeback factor to it too. So that in itself, I think, is worth all the praise it should hopefully get. So I don't know, if you haven't tried it out for yourselves, get out there, try testing grounds, and try out the new guard mechanic. And that's going to bring us to the end of the video today. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today, and I hope that you leave some comments and feedback on what you saw, and just let me know your thoughts. And like always, just please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to go ahead and take off. So enjoy your rest of the day, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.